Shiva, 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 Shiva.
This is NJ, your host on this channel. So we will continue our discussion on the lines. A quick recap of all what we have studied so far. So whenever it comes to checking someone's archetype personality, like the way you want to know someone is inclined towards art and beauty, or too much of business and finances, or someone is too spiritually inclined, we need to check the condition of the mounts. Mounts which can be spotted at the bottom of the fingers, the puffed portions, at the middle of the palm, or at the bottom of the palm, tells about an individual's archetype personality. But when it comes to checking the details of an individual's life, so when certain events are going to happen, the life path of an individual, we need to check the condition of the lines. So we have already discussed that lines get formed on the palm because of the three reasons. First remains to be the soul in which has been believed in spirituality that it carries the account of the past life deeds. Second remains to be the fetal environment which a mother gets at the time of the conception, and third remains to be the genetics, the kind of traits which a child inherits from his parents, from his ancestors. When it comes to checking the judging the condition of the any line in consideration, any line in palmistry gets judged on the basis of four principles: from where the line is originating, where the line is terminating, third, presence of any forks on branches, and lastly, the presence of any special signs and symbols on the line which we are considering. So we have discussed all of that. Now coming to the line in consideration, which is the line of Saturn. So what does the line of Saturn represent? The line of Saturn represents your potential to make money in this life. Any prospect of your wealth, of your business, of your service, time of promotion, partnership, inheritance, legacy, all that gets seen from the condition of the line of Saturn. So I'm not saying that a good line of Saturn would just represent someone being too rich. It would just tells about that this person would get favorable circumstances in his journey of the life, and this line in any case is chiefly associated with someone's wealth prospect only. And this line is so important in palmistry that whenever it comes to checking the signification of other major lines as well, this line is always given preference. So let's say if it's about the heart line, about the matters of someone's heart, the emotions, and the kind of love relationship. So when you want to know when the right match is going to arrive in any person's life, so along with the heart line, you also need to check the condition of the fate line. So that's one condition. Second is, if you want to know how much someone is focused in his life, or about the mentality of an individual, so when it comes to stability, along with the headline, you also need to check the condition of the fate line. And whenever it comes to checking the major events of an individual's life, so along with the lifeline, you also need to check the condition of the line of Saturn as well. So we have discussed all of that. This line is of great importance, and we have also discussed various other prospect of this line of Saturn as well. So like the way, if you'll find the line of Saturn to be deep and clear, this would just indicate someone meeting all the favorable circumstances and the smooth flow of the energy in the line of Saturn. But so all the aspect which line of Saturn represent, that would remain to be free flowing. Now whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be broad and shallow, this would just indicate too much of the struggle in the life. You will find the line of Saturn to be chained, this would just tell about too much of the financial troubles. And whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be wavy, so this would just tell about too much of the fickleness in someone's personality. We have discussed all of that. We have also discussed the origin of the line of Saturn. So if you find the line of Saturn to be originating from the mount of the Venus, from inside the lifeline, this would just tell about someone forging ahead in the life with the support of the family. Family would have a majority of the say in someone's business and wealth prospects. Whenever we will find the line of Saturn to be originating from the middle of the palm, middle of the wrist, this would just tell about someone being too self-driven, too determined, and someone having a sense of purpose and set goal in this life. Whenever we will find the line of Saturn to be originating from the mount of the moon, this would just tell about someone forging ahead in the life with the due support of other people. And this also indicate someone getting good support of opposite sex as well. So we have discussed all that aspect of the line of Saturn in the previous videos. In this video, we are just going to discuss the termination of the line of Saturn. So like the way I've been saying you people, that lines get just on the four principle. So origin we have discussed in the past video. In this video we are going to discuss the termination of the line of Saturn. So any point of time you'll find the line of Saturn to be terminating at the mount of the Jupiter. So let's say this is the line of Saturn. So at the termination you will find any branch, either the branch or the line itself moving ahead towards the mount of the Jupiter. So something like this. So first thing which you need to understand is that this is the best formation for the line of Saturn to have, because mount of Jupiter being the most benefic planet in astrology, in palmistry, so this would remain to be the case when at this particular point of time. So in palmistry we age the lines, so this would remain to be the age when this person would become powerful, this person would become ambitious, and this is also great time when this person can expect great rise in his business. And let's say if this person is in service, so this would remain to be the time when this person will get the highest position which this person is capable of. So line of Saturn terminating at the mount of Jupiter remains to be the best formation for the line of Saturn to have. Let's say the second condition is you will find the line of Saturn to going straight to the mount of Saturn only. So this would just indicate that, like the way I have said this thing repeatedly, that there remains to be two conditions. One is that the line of Saturn is completing its journey and reaching the mount of the Saturn. Second is presence of any line or any symbol on the mount takes great precedence. Mount has been seen as the presence of the superconscious. Mount has been given great significance in palmistry. So whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be terminating on the mount of Saturn only, so all the good traits of the signification of the mount of Saturn. So what does the mount of Saturn represent? Mount of Saturn represents wisdom, good work ethics, hard work, and contentment, all the scholarly qualities. So that will take precedence in someone's life. So whenever you find line of Saturn to be terminating here, this would just tell about a secure old age and all the wisdom infused in someone's personality, and even in terms of making good money and wealth prospect, this is a very positive sign. So that's the second case. Third is whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be branching on the mount of Sun, or the line completely in itself taking a curve or reaching on the mount of the Sun, mount of the Apollo. So what does the mount of Apollo represent? Mount of Apollo represents other people, along with the mount of Moon as well. Mount of Sun also represents people, it represents money making abilities, it also represents art and creativity, it also represents fame and recognition. So you need to age the line, and this would remain to the point. So like the way I have explained this thing in the very introductory video on the line of Saturn, that this would remain to be the time when the line of Saturn touches the heart line, this remains to be the 45 years of age. So this would remain to be the time when this person can expect inclination towards art and creativity, getting good fame and recognition due to his endeavors, and this would remain to be a very high time when this person will get into the eye of the public because of his good work. So that's meant to be the case when you'll find the line of Saturn to be branching on the mount of the Sun. And last is whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be branching on the mount of Mercury. So this is the mount of Mercury. So this is my mount of Mercury. So what does this represent? Mount of Mercury represents your business ability. This also tells about our scientific bent of mind. So any point of time you will find the line of Saturn branching on the mount of Mercury. This would just tell about this. First of all, this is a very good sign for the business gains, and second is a good scientific bent of mind. So the scientists are seen from this combination. Good highly astute good businessmen are also seen from this combination. So this would remain to be the case whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be ending on these different mounts. Now comes the twisted part. So what is that? So any point of time you will find the line of Saturn, which is also known as the wealth line, line of security. So any point of time you will find the line of Saturn to be terminating at the headline only. So this is seen as a kind of an affliction. So what has been believed in palmistry and is that the lines should follow their own course. Two major lines should not terminate at the intersection. So this would remain to be the case. So what does the headline represent? Headline represents your judgment. It represents your memory, your intelligence. So any point of time you will see the line of Saturn to be terminating at the headline. So this would just tell about someone taking wrong decisions in his career or finances. So whenever it comes to checking the magnitude of the blunder or the magnitude of the mistake, we need to check what is the condition of the lines after that intersection. So whether this line is getting distorted, the headline is getting distorted, or whether the line of Saturn is again beginning with a shift, because you need to understand that line of Saturn also represents shift in your lifestyle and in your work. So all those people, I by myself seen in majority of the hands when the line terminates here, but it also begins with a little bit of shift. So this meant to be a time when at this age, the 30 years of age, when people completely changes their career or completely changes their line of work. So this remains to be a case when the person is very much vulnerable towards, taking wrong decisions of brain, which could impact him in terms of his finances, in terms of his career, if the line is terminating here. Next is, whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be terminating at the heart line. So this is our line of Saturn. It is terminating at the heart line. So this is an ideal state. This is the case when you can just spot that the line of Saturn is terminating at the heart line. So this could just indicate two things. First could remain to be the weakness of the physical organ heart, and second remains to be the emotional sorrows and trouble. So then how could we judge whether it is related to someone's weakness of heart or physical problem, or whether this would remain to be emotional trauma? So like the way it happens in astrology. So let's say in astrological chart, someone's 4th house is afflicted. 4th house also represents mother. 4th house also represents your conveniences. So what could we indicate? So then we check the condition of two planets as well. So if the 4th house is afflicted, along with that the moon is also afflicted, then we could foresee the trouble for the mother. But let's say the condition is 4th house is afflicted, but moon is in a very good state, but the Venus is afflicted. So Venus, which also represents vehicle. So in that case we could expect and foresee trouble related to vehicle or conveyances. So same ways, this termination, this combination is indicating either trouble to the physical heart or trouble related to emotional trauma. So in order to check it from the perspective of the health, you need to check the condition of the first is the lifeline, which is chiefly responsible for your health. Second is, this is your health line. You need to check the condition of the health line, and lastly you need to check the condition of the nails as well. So at the time you need to first age this point of time. So this is coming somewhere close to the 45 years of age. So at the 45 years of the age, what is the condition of the lifeline, what is the condition of the line of health, and what is the condition at that point of time while doing the reading for an individual, what are the conditions of the nails? That would indicate that this person is vulnerable to the condition of the heart or the physical problem. But let's say all these things are immaculate, there is no affliction on the health line, lifeline, or the nails, or even in the mounts. So then this would indicate some kind of emotional trauma. So now the question comes, what kind of emotional trauma am I talking about? So all these people who get trapped into sex scandals, all the immature decisions, unwise decision, getting deceived by the relatives. So those are the kind of situations which an individual can kind of remain vulnerable to. So whenever the line of Saturn terminates at the heart line. So this is something which you need to give proper emphasis to. Now coming to the second topic, which is about the proportion of the line of Saturn in comparison to other lines. So like the way I've been saying this thing, that whenever you look at someone's palm, so prima facie you can just get to know just by looking at the palm if you're finding the headline to be more prominent. So then you can just get this fair idea that this person is more logical driven. When you'll find the heart line to be more prominent amongst the three major lines, you can just get to know that this person is more emotional driven. And whenever you'll find the line lifeline to be more prominent as compared to other lines, major lines marked on the palm, you will just get to know that this person is more physical energy driven. Same is the way when it comes to line of the Saturn, although this would remain to be a very rare case when you'll find the line of Saturn to be very deep and clear as compared to other major lines. But let's say when that situation comes, you're finding the line of Saturn to be more prominent as compared to other lines. So then you can just see, and you can just kind of predict and advise this person that this person can expect too much of the favorable circumstances in the journey of his life. He can expect the support of the other people. I'm kind of refraining from using the word fate. I am kind of refraining from using this term that this person would remain to be very lucky, or this person is remain to be too much kind of fortunate in terms of things coming to him without much efforts. So no, I won't say that. I can just only say that when the line of Saturn takes precedence compared to the condition of the other major lines, this line is very prominent as compared to other major lines. So this would just tell about favorable circumstances, kind of blessing this person in the journey of this life. Next is the color of the line. So we need to study the color of the lines in order to check someone's health. That is the only reason when it comes to three major lines, the heart line, headline, lifeline, we give emphasis to the color of the line as well. So you might not even, by me saying you this thing, you might not even realize the significance of this concept of checking the color of the line. But trust me on this, you need to press the lines with your index finger, other hand's index finger, and you'll automatically see whenever there will be some prominence of some special color. So what kind of significance can we expect in different colors? So pink color represents cheerfulness, optimism, and good qualities of that particular line, because color tells about the character of the line. Second is the red. Red represents intensity. Third is yellow. Yellow represents excessive of bile. And blue color represents problem related to blood circulation. So when it comes to the line of Saturn, because it is associated with the planet Saturn, which has got a natural yellow color, so whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be excessively yellow or the whole hand to be yellow in color, so you can just kind of foresee it from this angle that this person is vulnerable towards lack of vitality. Apart from that, there is no other thing and no greater significance which can be associated to the color with this line of Saturn. Next is the checking the childhood on the line of Saturn. So like the way I've been saying this thing, the lifeline is checked, the origin of the lifeline. When it comes to checking someone's childhood, we need to check the lifeline over here. But when it comes to checking the condition of someone's childhood on the line of Saturn, we map it over here at this point of time. So at the origin of the line of Saturn, here at this point, which represents someone's childhood, if you'll find the line of Saturn to be completely missing, so this would just tell about this person was not aware of his sense of purpose early in his youth, and this could also indicate some trouble in the childhood. But when it comes to that trouble in childhood or unhappy childhood or kind of health affliction, we need to check the condition of the lifeline as well, because lifeline, fate line are always seen in conjunction. So here if we're also finding some indication of negative signs at the origin of the lifeline, and same is the indications which you are getting here at the origin of the line of Saturn, so those indication would get confirmed. Apart from that, this is how you can just relate it. So the childhood is always seen at the bottom. The absence of line of Saturn here would just tell about lack of purpose, someone being kind of remaining vulnerable towards unhappy childhood or lack of sense of purpose. Apart from that, there is no severe affliction which you can see only from the line of Saturn. You need to check it in conjunction with the line of lifeline as well. When it comes to checking the sign on the mount, so like the way I have already explained this thing when we were discussing the termination of the line, that any line terminating at the mount gains special preference, kind of gain special significance. So any point of time you'll find the line of Saturn to be terminating here. So let's say the case is that the line of Saturn has taken a very smooth journey, but at the termination it has got broad and shallow, or it has got very wavy. So this would just tell about insecurity in old age, whether in the terms of inconsistent work ethics or unstable career. Because why I'm saying this thing is because it is not only whenever the line is terminating at the mount of the Saturn, it is not only being studied at the perspective of old age, rather the termination and the origin tells and signifies the character of the line throughout the life. So whenever you will find the line of Saturn to be terminating in a good condition, in a single deep vertical formation, this would just tell about security in old age. And a single deep vertical line on the mount of Saturn would just indicate, it would just act like an antenna which would just attract all the positive qualities of the Saturn. What are the positive qualities of the Saturn? Positive qualities of Saturn are strong work ethics, hard work, wisdom. So those would remain to be infused in someone's personality throughout the life and specifically at the old age. But if you'll find the line of Saturn to be broad and shallow or afflicted on the mount of the Saturn, so this would just tell about not only insecurity in old age, rather someone's personality being formed in a very inconsistent manner. And lastly, if you'll find the line of Saturn to be on the mount, you'll find it to be in this kind of formation, too many lines. So this would just tell about, you know, too many source of incomes. So out of that, the one which is more prominent, that would just indicate the main heightened source of income, and cumulatively adding all of that would just indicate someone's financial independence in old age. So this is how analysis is done in Palmistry. I hope I made myself very clear in this video. For further more updates and notification on Palmistry, please subscribe my channel and like my Facebook page. Thanks.